Welcome in, as we're going to start with a third series of the day. Hurry, before we move on to that though, I do believe Cybercats and Sibe were both just relegated there, as Cybercats did just lose to Matreshka. So any thoughts on that series before we move on to the third and final of Navi versus Storm?
I think both Cybercats and Sibe have deservingly so been eliminated. Sibe, they haven't shown up until the first series of this day today, so they really haven't. You can't play badly for the entirety of the season and show up for the last two series of the DPC and expect that's gonna be enough. And when it comes to Cybercats, for me, they were a big disappointment because looking at the lineup, that looked like a lineup that could do okay in Division 1, not get just eliminated from Division 2. It's just a big disappointment in general.
Yeah, with Young G being in there, Dark Lord was looking really good as well from the games that I saw. It seemed like everybody was playing to a level, early on, and then just seemed to drop off a little bit. I know they lost up against Team Sexy, then they started to fall down against Navi Jr., who were looking like one of the favorites to me. But yeah, initially in other events as well, I thought Cybercats were going to do quite well. Because I'm impressed with a lot of the players. Like I say, Young G, I think one of the better up and coming mid laners in the scene, in the Eastern European scene, and just going down like that, only being able to pick up one win, it just kind of sucks for the team. And unfortunately, that's the way it's going to crumble here for them. And yeah, Matreshka will be able to keep himself safe. We look at the middle of the table. Matreshka, Moneymakers, Navi Junior, Storm, all now safe. Team Sexy and Navi have been promoted to Division 1. So I guess all that's left to play for here is pride now. As Navi Junior, they want to go on that 7-0 run in their streak, and only dropping one game to Navi Junior will be a great showing here for Navi Senior.
Yep, it definitely will be, and I think Navi are coming in as the heavy favorites, right? I haven't seen anybody really threaten them apart from Navi Junior, and you could say that Navi Junior probably has some insights into how Navi wants to play, because they're probably helping each other learn and grow. So yeah, Storm, the team that, again, on paper, Soneko, whenever I see him in a team, I'm expecting big things, but just like with Cybercats, the results are just keep on being disappointing. I don't know if he can't find the right team, or maybe loser mentality has struck him as the leader of the team. I don't know what the problem is, but either way, with the strength of Navi currently, unless they are gonna be messing around a little bit because the first spot is secured 100% with that money too, I just don't see Storm winning.
No, and I don't expect Navi to mess around with this. I think it's a good. It's the last challenge really before we're going to get the Eastern European regional qualifiers coming up at the end of August, I want to say, if I'm remembering correctly. Or the middle towards the end of August, right? It's like the 20th or something like that till the 26th. So yeah, it's kind of like their final challenge. I think they do want to cement. It's kind of a pride thing as well. Being able to come through and say we won 7-0, and we can see already in the bans. The ban are now both the Chen, so they are taking this seriously up against the Nako. They take out the Broodmother as well. The Timbersaw and the Pugner will all be removed here. Storm getting those last two out.
Yep, I mean, no surprises in the bans. The only thing that's different than in the other games that we watched is the Chen, because Storm, when Soneko is playing the Chen, it's just a different tier of a team than how they usually play. So I'm liking that they're just getting rid of that one, because in my mind that's the only hero that can really threaten Navi in the series, and that ban shows that they didn't come to mess around, they came to play.
Yeah, and like you say, when the fact that Soneko baits out a hero like that, baits out a hero ban, it means that heroes are going to get through. The Enigma, especially first pick, into a Rubik. Yeah. Like, right off the bat, I'm hating the Storm draft. Honest to God.
10 seconds remaining.
Okay, I'm gonna give them the benefit of the doubt, because this is a good offlane deal for them. With the Rubik already being picked, you don't necessarily want to pick a Shadow Demon, but the Enchantress would be okay. I'm speaking about Spirit Breaker counters, right? The people that can purge off the Bulldoze. So in that regard, I think Storm's Opening is okay, especially if you force out 2 support picks from Navi. It's fine. So I wouldn't hate it. The Enigma is just a classic aura building hero. It's a little bit tougher to play around the hero, but sometimes it can work. I don't think it's necessarily a good first pick because you're gonna have time to think about which carry you want to play versus this, but they just probably wanted something that is a good laner with the Spirit Breaker, and Enigma definitely ticks the boxes.
Yeah, but go for something like a Darkseer or a Darkseer. You know, you've got the Enigma coming out, and I was kind of back on the Enigma hype train this morning because I saw it in Southeast Asia. It looked really good. It went Octarine first item into the Blink Dagger. It was landing black holes. It was ruining the other team's time. And then I saw it this morning, and I saw it position 4, then position 3. And it was, and I cannot stress this enough, it was hot garbage watching that hero try and play. Rubik came out against it in the second phase, in the second series when it was that 3, and it lost a black hole 2 or 3 times. It was god awful. Like, I have a small list of heroes that I hate with a passion, and Enigma and Troll Warlord, Tinker are the top 3 names on that list for very different reasons.
I remember last year when I was casting with both you and T-Panda. So I had one of my co-casters that was an Enigma hater, and the other one of my co-casters that was in love with the hero. So I would have to go from one to the other and actually listen first to the praises about the almighty and great Enigma, and then go cast with you and listen to just how much this hero was garbage. If I didn't have my own stance on the hero, I'd actually be so freaking torn right now.
And I need to know the stance now, because our casting relationship hinges on it now in this very last series before we do end the 2023 Dota 2 DPC.
Yeah, well, there's 2 more series tomorrow, but yeah, you and me are gonna be done with casting of the DPC for the 2023 tour, which is kind of sad. Don't cry, Rob, don't cry. I know that you can see the tears coming from my eyes already, but overall, I don't think that Enigma is in a good spot now, but I do not hate the hero with a passion, just like my beloved co-caster. Don't kill me, thank you.
It's okay. Like I say, I just see this hero that likes to build. I know we're making the draft time all about this hero, but it wants to go for Greaves. It wants to go for maybe like a pipe to come out, which delays the Blink Dagger, delays the BKB. If it was just a straight up Blink Dagger BKB, I'd be all right with that hero. You get some early pickoffs with the Black Hole coming out early on, make some rotations, but just to bring it out so early on when it can be countered, when you can get BKB piercings counters coming out, I just don't like the hero like this.
Yep. Okay, but it still will be laning with the Spirit Breaker. I like the Ember Spirit coming out though, because it is a great hero versus the Enigma versus the Spirit Breaker. Very hard to catch for a Spirit Breaker with a charge. Very hard to catch for Enigma with a Black Hole. You can almost always react. Much easier to react versus the Spirit Breaker, but either way, it does make a lot of sense. Plus, the hero is very, very strong and established in the current meta and can be played into almost any lineup with almost any lineup on your side as well. So I'm liking that they went that way. I'm actually very surprised about the how people are not even trying to be a little bit innovative here in Division 2 in East Europe, but it's always that way, because Ember Spirit being picked up this early is kind of begging for a Huskar to be picked on another side and completely demolish him.
Yeah, I'm just seeing Navi ban out the anti-mage there, and I'm like, is that going to be the Medusa pickup coming through? I know it's not as good as it was before 7.33D, but that's kind of, for me, if you're banning out the anti-mage, you're either going straight, or you want that Morphling coming out, or you want the Medusa coming out, in my eyes.
That's the 2 that they're gonna be picking now. That they see the Undying, they might want to go for the Morphling a little bit more. The Medusa would do better in the lane. Let's see, Clockwork. So it's one of those 2 for sure, right? Because both of them do lane really well with the clock.
Yeah, and I'm surprised that the Morphling, the Medusa not so much, because it isn't being banned as often now. It doesn't seem to be played as much, but really surprised that they've not banned out at least the Morphling in the second phase, either side. Well, if Navi wanted to pick it, no surprises there, but the fact that StoRm banned out the Sven and the Monkey King, and they let that Morphling through, who looks like an S tier carry, one of the tippy top carries at the minute. They just let it go through.
Radiant
Major
team
surprise here for me. Gonna be
We'll
the
go for
Medusa.
So the other team gets the Morphling, right? I don't see a reason why not to. I mean, Rubik and the Clockwork can be a problem for you because usually they have that instant initiation that you are kind of have to be wary of. But other than that, you're pretty solid versus the
10
Ember.
seconds
You're not that
remaining.
bad versus the Medusa because you do massive amounts of damage. You're not a
5
diffusal
seconds
hero though.
remaining.
I think the only thing that they're thinking about right now is, do we maybe pick up a Pango? Because that would be a good Medusa counter in general. The thing is, Pango doesn't do well versus the Ember Spirit in lane, so
NAVI's
that might be
turn to
dissuading you
bat.
from that kind of approach. Yeah, Morphling was probably the better choice.
Yeah, and like we've seen in other games, you know, recently, the Morphin can become that better Medusa when you get the Ag Scepter out. It means you're stealing away the attack speed as well as the stats. Was it base 20% stats you steal away
10
from
seconds
when you get the Ag Scepter up? So
20% of the base stat and
5
70
seconds
attack
remaining.
speed from an agility hero.
yeah, so there is that, you know, the ability there to become, like I say, that
Radiant
better
team
Medusa. Whether they're going to be able to get it off, as yeah, Navi they do ban out the
Navi's
Pangolin. Like you
turn
say,
to
maybe they do
ban.
go for that Huskar pick here on Storm just to be a little bit fancy against the, you know, just a little bit different against the Ember Spirit and kind of let the dice lie where they land.
Yeah, I like the Pango ban still, even though the Ember does well versus him in the lane. It's just a very powerful hero.
10 seconds
Though I'm
remaining.
very afraid for Storm here overall because their heroes don't do
seconds
any
remaining.
damage. Like, who's gonna kill anybody, right? There's a Medusa on your side until the Morphling gets into the fights. Navi
Yeah.
can just get away with whatever they want, and that just means that these supports are going to be playing around the Ember Spirit quite a lot. That's why I think it might be the best approach from Storm to just have that static hero in the mid lane that doesn't die that easily, but crushes the Ember Spirit in the lane. So that once even the supports start rotating, even though your other supports don't, your teammates don't have that much damage on Storm, you will have a big advantage over the enemy mid laner, so you can stand your ground and potentially win those early fights as well.
Do you think, I mean, what are you looking for in the mid lane? Because I was looking at a lot of the mid laners are still there. There's your Storm Spirit, Queen of Pain still there as far as I can see. But would you want something different like a Wind Ranger that can build into that Diffusal Blade and just focus down the Medusa in the fights?
I think the main problem for Storm isn't the Medusa
Radiant
here,
team
it's other heroes, right?
Yeah.
Rubik, Clockwork, Ember, these guys aren't even gonna die. You won't even get close to the Medusa if these guys are always in the map. So make sure to get something that can kill them. I like the Storm ban for that reason, but the Queen of Pain that you mentioned is also a very
Navi's turn to pick.
valid hero to pick up here, because you need somebody who's gonna be killing enemies, right? If there's always 5 heroes on the map for Navi and you can't really threaten any of them, then your Spirit Breaker won't be doing so hot. You don't have that many lane
10
pushers,
seconds
so
remaining.
I think you have to have somebody who murders,
5
right? It
seconds
has to
remaining.
be a high damage hero.
Okay, well, we'll see what it is going to be. I mean, Storm, what have they got? 1 minute and 11 seconds in reserve time, as well as the 30 seconds draft time that they're going to get. Meanwhile, Navi, they go for the Darks here.
You may now
Straight up Necrophos, not even thinking about it here for Storm.
Okay. Well, that's cool. Sneaky cool,
That's
right?
Nicky cool. Yeah.
Yeah, oh, we're so funny, Rob, right? Anyways, I think this is the first Necro pick that we see. It crushes the Ember in lane, there's no doubt about that. Medusa doesn't care about the Necro. That is a bit of a problem. So again, it's the same thing until the Morphling is super strong, the Medusa won't care. But the problem I have with this one is that it's static. Right, so your Spirit Breaker, he's gonna be going from one static carry to another, Undying also static as well. That gives Navi the ability to just outmaneuver you on the map, and you are the ones with the Spirit Breaker. So I think Storm's lineup, even though it might do well in the lanes, especially the mid lane, I can see big issues for them coming into the later portions of the game.
Okay, and how do you kind of, because you were talking, you know, later portions of the game, but how do you then guarantee that early momentum? Is it just static Necrophos on the draft? Maybe some Twin Gate action to come through just to keep Navi on the toes? Or, you know, how do you want to try and play around this draft then from Storm?
Necro forces rotations towards him and survives. That's what you need to do. So you need the Necro to force rotations to him. That will be leaving Dominic and Krillat a little bit undefended, but it doesn't matter. It has to be that way, that your support's around the Necro, he's applying pressure, and he's just making sure that everybody on Navi is focusing on him.
Okay. Well, we'll see how this game's going to go, but first, before we get into it, we're going to take a quick word from our sponsors over at EGB.
Bets on esports, bets on streamers, impressive bonus system, welcome bonus up to $600, cashback, artifacts, regular promotions, daily giveaways. Try yourself as a bookmaker. Great lines. EGB.com, more than just a bookmaker.
So, welcome back in as we get started here with the first game. We're going to see if NAVI, are they going to go for not quite a clean sweep, as NAVI Jr. did take a game off them, but 1.299 odds to the 3.1 of StoRm. Hurry, could you give it any other way? Sure, you know, NAVI coming into the favorites. Surely, that's everybody's opinion, right?
Yeah, it's everybody's opinion for sure. I mean, StoRm haven't been looking the greatest, and Navi have been looking unstoppable. They only lost that one game in the first week, so ever since then they haven't lost a single game. And really, when you're looking at them, it wasn't close. They were just moving around the map better. Just if you ask me, I think they could have won those series with using one hand, because they were just in such a better position that they didn't really need to use their spells well. They were just always at the right spot at the right time, and the other teams couldn't follow through with the speed at which they were applying pressure.
To be fair, I have a mouse that has 12 side buttons, the 2 main buttons, the middle mouse button, and then the 2 buttons above the middle mouse button. So I can probably play Dota one-handed. Yeah.
Begins.
Um,
I mean, you don't play one-handed? I thought if you're 2K MMR that you have to be playing
Oh, first of all. All right.
I have no
How
idea.
dare you?
I have no idea how much of a Mario you have, but you always cry about it, so I just assumed.
Cry about it. I don't cry. I just set reasonable expectations and then bitch about the teammates that I have because they don't play like the pros that I make a living watching.
Oh, okay, makes sense. That's completely reasonable, Rob. I'm sorry that I ever mentioned anything. You're a reasonable person, and you deserve all the respect in the world.
So, coming into this first game, moving split my MMR, is there any lanes that we should be keeping an eye on? Your kill lane to come out, your high level for either side that might be able to pick up some fairly easy early kills?
High level of pressure on the bottom lane. I would guess if it's just a straight up fight, a kill might happen on top, but there's not gonna be a straight up fight on the top. So I would say bottom lane, if the Darkseer makes a mistake, he can die. And the mid lane, the Emperor could, like from level 2-3, maybe after some overextension die or make a mistake and die to the Heartstopper aura. But none of the lanes really scream death if you look at them.
Well, Daniel's at least going to be able to get the pick on Seneco's career. How do you expect this bottom lane to play? Because you've got the, Darkseers I hear always like to play, or mostly like to play with like a melee support, a big beefy melee support. You can drop the Iron Shell on them and you just run towards the enemy team. But you've got the opposite here. You've got your Rubik that wants to hang back, and meanwhile Seneco is going to be dropping those decays, taking away your health as Malik, and then running to just try and bop you on the nose.
I mean, the Morphling is gonna do better in the lane than the Darkseer most of the times anyways. You're picking the Darkseer for the later portions of the game versus the Morphling. So even if you had a melee position 4, it is not 100% certain you would be able to apply the pressure. So I think Malik is gonna be struggling compared to the Morph, but he should be able to get at least good levels.
Okay. And meanwhile on the top lane, the Cogs as well as the Backshield come out. This Spirit Breaker is only close to level 2, but doesn't have the charge out. So just going to sit, heal up, now go back to the base to TP. Meanwhile, we are going to see the Cliff coming out onto the Undying. The Undying, does he have a TP scroll? He doesn't have the mana for it. Oh, he can't get near this Tombstone though. It looks like the zombies already, as well as Krilliant moving over, will be able to guard it out. So the Undying has to pop a Clarity, gets that little bit of extra mana for the TP. But, it's always a bit of a pain in the ass when you do get cliffed, and you've got to kind of like wait that out.
Overall, you've just taken away 100 gold for the Undying. Yes, the supports usually get those DPs by dying, but you still won't have it, and it's kind of annoying. So Saneko probably not too happy about it, especially now because he needs to be waiting for his regen. An Undying without mana in the lane is just a walking creep.
Yeah, and how do you want to play around this now as well? With the TPN out, are you applying pressure to the Undying? You're trying to force it back, trying to get it to have to go back to base, or do you just still have to watch out for the pressure that Saneko can put on?
He's still gonna be running at you. He just wants to, if he cannot apply pressure by making you weaker, he is just gonna fight you and go through his HP. He did get the Healing Lotus, so overall Saneko will be fine, and he does get Mango delivered, so he's just gonna continue to do as much as he can. It's always what the Undying does, and you're just hoping that his mana runs out sooner rather than later, so that you can play the lane somewhat safely. And Malik is trying, but we can see a big difference between him and the Morph. And Daniel, well, there might be a name on that tombstone.
There will be, yeah. Daniel will go down. That's going to be the first blood. Speaking about running out of mana, though, the Medusa on the top lane, he was so lucky to get out there. Completely ran out of mana, and I know that's what Observer was checking, just to see if the Medusa was going to get out alive. The charge comes through underneath the tier 1 tower now. 1J, he will be able to pick up the kill onto Shigetsu. So not the greatest of the starts in the world for Navi here.
It's a really bad start. We expected the lanes to go well, though, for StoRm, especially this mid lane where Meljul was keeping up until one point, but now Nicky Cool is just too big of a problem. He is much stronger than the Ember Spirit now when he gets more levels.
Yeah, and he's going to be able to hit that 6 quicker as well, so maybe if these Ember Spirit's not careful, he's going to be losing his head to the old Reaper Scythe. As Nicky Cool continues, he's going to be about 2/3 of a level off getting 6, but Meljul, not even level 5 just yet. He's fallen way behind. He just picks it up now, but it does mean those remnants are going to be out a lot later than Nicky Cool's 6. And back on the top lane, looks like Malady trying to do what he can to protect out. Charge actually doesn't connect onto Shigetsu. Malady will take the most of the damage from that, and Shigetsu, well, he just has to play this one careful. Meanwhile, back in the mid lane, though, it looks like we are going to see the duel coming through here. Nicky Cool, we can see that Meljul, he had that Flame Guard going. It will be taken care of now, trying to get himself back to a decent amount of health with the bottle, with the tangos. And Nicky Cool just sits and rips it away from him. And yeah, in about this creep wave, we are going to be seeing the Reaper Scythe, so Meljul, with only a Furry Fire left in regen, has to be very careful not to play into Nicky Cool here.
He has a Flame Guard, so that's definitely gonna help. But now he's being charged up, so very clearly under enemy vision. Nicky Cool is... these are the types of games where you might even be behind the tier 1 in the mid lane, trying to apply pressure even more.
Yeah, and you can see that, I mean, 1J did stop that charge in. Bottom line, how's it looking? Saneko, okay, 1J, he's moving himself back over, but he did stop that charge. It would have been underneath the tier 1 tower with no backup, so he didn't feel confident about coming through for this. They do see Malady, though. And well, we're even going to see the rotation in from both the Rubik and the Undying. It looks like it's going to be a chase through the river, so maybe this is where, yeah, charge coming through onto Daniel. Nicky Cool, that going to be denied on the room, but it might cost Daniel his life. Do we have enough? Where's that Reaper Scythe comes out? Nicky Cool picks up his first kill and his first Reaper Scythe thingy. Permanent 2 HP and 1 mana regen.
Yeah, I think the thingy is the way that they would want to... But why isn't it a Reaper Scythe buff or something? Why just say Reaper Scythe? It cannot have the same name as the spell itself. It's not fair.
That's what I was looking for. That's why I said the Reaper Scythe to check what the buff was called. It's just Reaper Scythe. That's why I ended up with the technical term of thingy.
I think that was a pretty good one. Malik is playing with his life here. He will be okay, but you can see that he's really struggling. Okay, and now I don't know that he's gonna be okay any longer. He's dead.
No, Koyak gets the kill. Meanwhile, on the top lane, it looks like they're going to try and make a move over to these Wizard Runes here. The Clockwork's going to try and get him with the Battery Soul, but he will go down. Daniel picks that one up. Yeah, I've seen Darkseers do this. You know, you double stack the wave and then you pull it into a neutral camp. As it looks like Marty, does he go down, trying to get himself over to the barrier, but won't be able to get himself over it in time. 1J does get the kill. But yeah, no, you get the double stack on the Darkseer, then you pull it into one of the big neutral camps, and you just farm it all up with Iron Shell. That works if you don't have a Undying chasing you down, sapping away your strength with decay stacks.
Undying is very annoying to these heroes that like to go behind the tower, because it's very hard to fight him, especially if you're a strength offlaner. You know, axes like to go and pull the waves and such, and the Undying is just so good at chasing you down because he's one of the few heroes that can actually stand his ground versus you.
Yeah, and we'll see in the mid lane now as well. It's going to be a 3-man rotation. Both supports in here. Marty wants to come in as well. Getting involved. Melody will just hang around. He doesn't have any more remnants to go. So, tiny hell though. Telekinesis comes out. Reaper Scythe is back up. We'll see if they're going to try and make a move here as Nicky Cool has that arcane rune. No bottle. So he just picks it up straight up. Yeah, and we'll see if he's going to try and make something happen with this because, again, the arcane rune having that cooldown here on the Reaper Scythe as well as those death pulses. It does mean that you can spam out a little bit more. In fact, once again, Malik, he's going to be obviously going to be seen by these creeps. Yeah, straight up dead here. Malik comes through. Brilliant. Well, 1J's going to charge in, and this is going to be a 3-man rotation. No chance.
Oh, it's looking problematic for Navi here. These lane losses could be a problem because Medusa is a timing-based hero, and sure, he's farming the best out of all the heroes on his team, but who's going to be creating the space for you once the pressure starts ramping up? And it will fairly soon because StoRm, you can see what they're doing. They are forcing Navi to come to the mid lane, and considering that the side lanes won as well, it is not their heroes that are going to be left vulnerable, actually the heroes of Navi.
Yeah, and there's going to be another charge in now as well. Shigetsu's going to take the brunt of it. Is level 6, but in typical Medusa fashion, doesn't have that point in the Stone Gaze. So, rotation comes in from Melody. He's going to try and look for the pickoff now as well. Searing Chains does come through. They've got the Enigma Black Hole. Does he want to throw it out before he goes down? They will not. Shigetsu from range will still be able to pick up that kill. So, great cameo there from the Ember to rotate in, get this kill. As it looks like, I mean, the charge is going to come out onto Malik. Krillet's going to be here now once again. Blood Grenade. I don't actually think it connected now. The vacuum comes through. And Malik's even going to proc the neutrals here. Nicky Cool rotates another wall, does get dropped, but there's still 3 heroes. There should still be no Malik with the charge. Oh, there's no level 6 on 1J. He's trying to get himself away from this one. Doesn't have the surge for another 15 seconds, or 1J's got that charge up in 7 seconds. Looks like they're going to give the kill over to the Spirit Breaker if he can deny himself to the neutrals, so this might be Big Malik. He's trying to hide himself, trying to break the vision. The damage is still going to be there, and that should be ever closer to the 6 for 1J.
Immediately, he's going for another move with the charge. He just wants to be everywhere.
Yeah. And this is what I love about the... Because I've been playing a little bit of Position 5 Spirit Breaker. Not the 17. Don't know what that's about. But, yeah, I've been playing a little bit of Position 5 Spirit Breaker. And the fact that you just get that charge every... What is it? Every... Well, 18 at level 2. But yeah, 15, 12 seconds, level 3 and 4. And you can just be so active around the map. You twin gate to the other side, you get a kill, then you twin gate back, charge out. Speaking about charges, just get cancelled. 1J moves himself away. This hero is just absolutely bonkers at the minute. There will be a vacuum into a really good double cogs here. Nicky Cool, Tombstone's going to drop. They're going to try and save Nicky Cool's life. They're trapped in there with the zombies now as well until those cogs fades. Koliat rotates in, they get the kill. Reaper Scythe comes out. They take down Malik. It is going to be, even his curry goes down here, a full wipe going away of StoRm. And Navi, they just look like they are not at the races here today.
Okay, this is a big problem, and this is what StoRm needed to do. Remember? Play around the Necro, force the enemies towards him, because you are not mobile. Don't get spread around the map. StoRm, they do exactly that. They're forcing everybody around the Necrophos, and Navi, they just cannot kill him. Even though it looked like they got close, Ghost Shroud, full sticks, and the Death Pulse, it's over. He's almost full HP, and after that, there's no killing him.
No, and they've even got the Nether Strike still on the Spirit Breaker, so Shigetsu, Melody's going to TP up, has that hook shot in, what's that, 12 seconds, but yeah, Shigetsu's going to be the target. Nicky Cool, he might be able to come around and see him. He's waiting on the high ground here, Clockwork, maybe looking for a jump in, as Nicky Cool will be spotted by the Tier 1, but with the Eidolons being here as well, Nicky Cool going to be able to keep them alive. This Tier 1 tower, even the pressure, the fortification, do they even protect this?
No. It's gonna be tough. You can see that they're bringing way too many heroes in StoRm, and there is a black hole at the ready. Earlier, he couldn't use it when the Clockwork was next to him, but when you have so many teammates close to you, you can actually go for it. You're not really afraid of the battery assault cancelling it immediately.
Yeah, and Dominic's actually going to go back for the Helm of the Dominator into the Overlord. Diadem already picked up. We've got the Helm of the Iron Will. What was stolen here for the Rubik?
Decay.
It's going to be the Decay. It's not a Tombstone though, is it?
Nope, it's not. Unfortunately, no Tombstone for you. Even though, by the looks of it, Navi are the only team that actually needs to be planting ones because they're the only ones dying.
Mid lane! Motivatos comes out. Did they have the kill? Was that Reaper side? It is going to be available now. Yep, straight up killing Meljul and Ember Spirit. 0, 2, and 2. Really not having a good time. Maybe we're going to see the rise of the Necrophos if these Storms, if these Embers remain to be popular. These high mobility heroes.
Dominic will get caught. That's something, but the two supports hardly have enough damage to finish him off.
Nope, Medusa's going to try and rotate. Seeing the charge comes through both of those supports now as well. Daniel's going to get really darn low. In fact, did he get the kill onto this one? Fadebolt continues going through. Even the Centaurs getting involved. They are not happy to be involved in that Fadebolt. And yeah, Rubik steals the charge, which fairly nice getting yourself back to support your teammates. But Rubik on the charge, that's one I'd pay to see. For it to be effective at least. You know what? Bottom lane, they are going to be able to get the kill. Malik goes down again.
It's looking easy here for Storm. They just got the early advantage, and the games that I've seen them crush it was with the Chen when they would get the early advantage. They don't have the Chen, but they have the advantage most definitely in this game.
Radiant's middle tower.
Yep, Meljul's going to try and come in with this double damage rune. How do you think Navi try and pull this back in their favor though? Because 13 to... We'll come back to that in a second. Motivators comes out. Did you get the kill, Storm? Just not enough damage, and Storm trying to charge on, but won't be able to get themselves on top of Meljul.
You need to find a way to separate Storm. Separate them from the Necro, because you can fight if the Necro is not around, but that is very, very tough. So for now, what Navi need to do is try to stay away from fights. She gets he's not going to have a choice.
Nope, he's going to pop the Stone Gaze. Got rooted down as well. They might go for the chase down. There is going to be the hook shot, so did they get the kill onto Seneko? Seneko's going to fall. But it looks like Krilliat wants to come in now. That Stone Gaze is gone. Wall gets dropped though. Going to be a really good drag back. They get the kill. But Nikki Krill is going to be able to take down Marley. The vacuum comes out now as well. Wanja's going to try and charge through the team. Does he have enough to get Nikki Krill out of this? Nikki Krill is trying to run himself away, but it's going to be Emma trying to catch up here. Remnant dives forward. Yeah, they should be able to get the kill. One more anything Shigetsu will be able to pick it up. So fairly well done there. Meljul's even going to get himself a regenerate.
And this is the thing about Navi, because they are a team that's capable of seeing these small mistakes. Even though they can sometimes mess up the laning phase, they can sometimes mess up some movements, they are constantly trying to make moves and trying to force their enemies into a mistake. And even on the aggressive, even though it's a little bit tougher, it's a big one. Malady, he will experience the black hole the first time in the game.
Yeah, we take a look at the odds being flipped from the start of the game here. Storm, they've just completely taken over, and yeah, Navi looking like no longer the favourites coming into this one. We'll see if it continues, because that is still a Medusa pick, even though there's a Morphling in here. Shigetsu with the Storm Gaze might just be able to run over absolutely everybody. There will be a charge up, speaking about running them over. There's Medusa. Mantis Star's going to get popped. Can he get himself away from this one? The charge continues to come in. They know where the real one is. Reaper Scythe, they get the kill.
Yeah, it almost did no damage there with the Reaper side, because the Medusa was full HP, but they managed to go through the mana just in time. He didn't use the Killing Lotus on the Medusa. I think that was a mistake. He would have died either way, but at least he survives the Reaper side, doesn't give another charge to the Necro, who now has 5 of those. They're all level 1, so it's, I was about to say, only 10 HP per second. That's quite a lot for this this part of the game.
Yeah, just speaking about the Healing Lotus, I can see why you kept it, because at level 1, or yeah, level 1 Healing Lotus, it is only, is it 125 on health and mana? And then I think when you step it up to level 2, it's 900 health and mana.
400, and then 900 for great.
Oh, is it 400 and 900? Yeah. Right, okay. Well, that's... Still, I can see why he kept it for, you know, coming into the later portions of the game. Just that, having that extra mana really will be effective. We're 125 there. I don't think that does anything when he's being ganked out like that.
Imagine how much he might be regretting that if maybe the Necro survives in 2 HP, and you're like, if only he hadn't had that 2 HP regen per second.
True. As Marty, there's going to be the charge in now as well. Do they get the kill? There's going to be this Mystic Snake coming through here. Seneko has to back himself away after dropping the Tombstone, but the Eidolons will push in. Reaper Scythe not going to be up for another 27 seconds, so let's see how aggressive Storm really want to get with this one. Is it just putting a bit of Fear of God into Navi? It looks like they are going to just back themselves away. Yeah, close to the Tombstone here, still Seneko. So looking to make something happen. It's still got 10 seconds left, but Medusa with the illusions from the Manta style will be able to clean it up.
Look at how the Emperor and the Darkseer are playing. So I'm liking that Shigetsu probably said, guys, I cannot really farm. They're going to find me in the jungle, so I'm going to be defending the towers. And I'm not that good at pushing out the waves, not mobile, so you two do it. Navi, what they're trying to do with these moves is spread around Storm. And the second that the Spirit Breaker TPs, they are going in for the fight.
They're going to be able to get the jump on Tsuneko here. The cogs do get dropped, the drums were popped, but it doesn't matter because if you can't walk, you don't really benefit from that movement speed. 1J does get the Wisdom Rune. He's going to be able to charge himself in now, but yeah, Shigetsu gets himself another kill on the board here. So 2-2-2 on the Medusa. Going towards that Skadi, which will be a big pickup. Speaking about big pickups, though, Ember Spirit in the mid lane, Reaper Scythe. Meloduel's dead.
That was so unfortunate for him because Nicky Cool just got close to him with Rod of Athos like a second before the Spirit Breaker will connect, or else he would have just been able to dodge that charge and everything would have been fine.
Yeah, and it looks like 1J wants to carry on going here now as well. The charge comes through, doesn't have that Nether Strike, so Malady, he's going to get off with a warning, but it is a dire warning here as Shigetsu just continues to farm. What's he looking? Still Skadi. Going towards that, and yeah, like you say, then Medusa, not even top of the net worth, 18 minutes in, we'd expect to see him picking that split shot up so early. He has just been pressured out of this, but at least it is, like you say, given time and space for the Darkseid and the Ember Spirit, well, when the Ember Spirit's not dead at least, to try and catch up.
It's not ideal for the Medusa what he's doing right now, but he understands that his team needs it, and this is what I like about Navi. This is why they are the top of Division 2, is because they think, right? They think through every single move on the map they make, and they're able to do it faster than the other teams. This game, it started out badly, but if Navi had the start that StoRm had, we would probably be looking, okay, this is over. But because StoRm had that start in Navi, they're trying to make a comeback. It isn't going super well right now, but if they continue with the moves, they actually have a solid shot.
Yeah, top lane, 1J tried to get, well, he does get himself away. It cost the Nether Strike though, committing that one, and Malik going to be able to bait that one out. The Iron Shell was wearing off, had no mana left, so maybe if the Spirit Breaker knew this, he wouldn't have committed the ult, but yeah, he just tries to get himself away though with the Nether Strike, and I mean, 1J's doing really good at the minute. We take a look at the hero levels, you know, he's going to be level 10. You've got the level 9 coming out on Tsuneko. Danielle's going to be level 9 as well. Mali's only level 8. So 1J, highest of the supports. And you can see that these 3, 1, and 9 really having an impact in this game already. Speaking of impact, Black Hole comes through. Reaper Scythe won't get the kill. So no extra regen for Nicky Cool, but he will be able to get the Meloduel. Was he 0, 4, and 4? 0, 4, and 4 on the Ember Spirit.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
I think this is the first time in competitive Dota I'm seeing the new and improved Death Seeker. So now you actually fly to the location, which is a big buff to the Necro. I really like it. The reason he went for the Reaper site is because he wasn't sure if the Enigma was gonna make it there in time. So they just wanted to kill. It doesn't really matter if they get the Reaper site charge or not.
Yeah, fair enough. And 110 seconds, you know, that's a time between ganks where it does feel like StoRm are only for the ganks at the minute, and they're getting away with it. So yeah, 110 seconds downtime. What's that, just under 2 minutes? They're going to be fine with that, as it looks like they're even going to be able to get themselves in the Roche pit. Can Navi contest into this, even if he had the information, though?
Look at Necro's icon for Heartstopper. That looks more like a Heartbreaker than a Heartstopper to me.
I mean, if you break it, you probably stop it. It's like if I threw a clock on the floor and it's smashed, you know, that's an effective way to stop the clock.
Okay, but nobody would say, "Oh, Rob, stop the clock." They would all say, "Oh, Rob, smashed the clock," right?
I could argue semantics. I'm very good at being stubborn and arguing stuff like that. So
that's good. That's good. Anyways, they do get the Roach for the Morphling. The thing is, now that the pipe is finished for the Darkseid, Navi actually have something to fight with. This is a big
Radiant
item.
are scanning.
Yeah, and the Greaves are going to be coming up soon. Already got that mechanism as well as the mana boots, like you say. So he's going to benefit from both of those. They're going to go for the smoke, and the Medusa has just finished his Skadi as well. So the extra stats backline. Though, I think he's going to be able to get this jump in once this vacuum in, hook shot on the back lines. Going to be charged on to, do they connect? No, there's going to be a really nice vacuum back into the cogs. A wall goes down. Wall goes across pretty much everybody here. Stonegate is going to come out. They're going to be able to plug in on one. Dominic goes down. Malady will fall in return. Krelliet, though, they're going to be able to pop this Aegis. Tsuneko, he will fall. They're going to be able to get another follow-up here. Nicky Cool's going to try and get himself out with the cloak, but it looks like, or the Ghost Shroud, excuse me, no longer the cloak, as Krelliet trying to go out, and he's stop this Searing Chains. Yep, they've got the control, and he's going to try and do the best he can with the Strength Morph. Sleight of Fist Storm by this Morph in form. He will still go down. Meloduel He gets himself on the board here in this fight with 2 kills.
This is just the thing.
Radiant
The damage of
structures are
StoRm is
fortified.
lacking, and no matter how strong they got, Navi, once they get the pipe, once they get the Scotty, they're actually
Radiant's
very
bottom
hard to
tower
bring
is
down.
under attack.
And then every single one of their
Radiant's
heroes just
bottom
becomes
tower
super,
has
super
fallen.
powerful. The Morphling just couldn't get strong enough at this point of the game to have all of those damage items. But it doesn't matter, even with all these items that Navi got, if StoRm are now able to keep their lead and keep everything going as it is right now, they have still
Radiant's bottom tower is
kind
under
of paved
attack.
the way for success for them, because the Morphling will get strong damage output eventually. You just need to get there and stop the timing of the
Radiant's
Medusa.
bottom tower is under attack.
Yeah, I mean, the Medusa now has caught up. Top of the net worth, going towards the Silver Edge to come out for him next. And, oh, top lane. I was maybe looking for a dive onto 1J, but 1J does have that Shadow Blade to run away. And if you're, like say, you're StoRm, you want to shut down this Medusa, you don't want it to go any further, but has she gone too far already? Is it becoming a little bit more impossible to take down this fight against Navi?
Currently it is. Right, at the moment it's pretty tough to do so, but when the Morphling gets the Aghanim Scepter, first you reduce the damage of the Medusa significantly, that is a big deal. But then once after that he gets a damage item like Silver Edge himself, he'll be able not only to kill the Medusa, but actually threaten the other ones, because you need some physical damage to work with right now, and StoRm doesn't have it. Navi, they know this.
Yeah.
That's why they're probably going to try to force the issue a little bit at this moment.
Okay, well, we'll see where they're going to try and rotate. Like say, Roshan, he's down for the next at least 5 minutes, could be as long as 8, so they know there's no Aegis on the side of StoRm, and maybe they do group up. I mean, there's going to be them to jump onto Nicky Cool in the mid. Yeah, do they get him up? Telekinesis comes through here. The Shroud is going to be used. Nicky Cool trying to get himself away with the Death Pulse. It is cute. A little bit of an improved Blink Dagger here for the hero as well, because it means that you can get away even when the Blink Dagger would be on cooldown. She gets to it. If he needs it, Storm Gaze will be here. Reaper's Scythe comes out though. They don't even get the kill into the Clockwork. Malady survives through to the Reaper's Scythe. And now the Tombstone. Do the Illusions clean this one up? The Illusions get him pretty low, but they do take it down. Now the wall's going to drop. Big vacuum in. Black Hole comes out. Everybody suffers, including my computer. Where's the damage going to come from though after the fact? Because you've got BKB coming from Melgil. You've got these white kills coming through from the Medusa. Malady buys back as well. Gets himself in with the Cogs. It's a 5-man wipe. That was a black hole that caught pretty much everybody, and StoRm come out the worst for wear.
The thing is that the Medusa got the Stone Gaze off before the black hole, and it just stopped the black hole. The second that happened, it was pretty much apparent what was going to happen in the fight. This is why it's so easy for Navi, because StoRm, they don't have the damage. You saw what happened. They went for the Clockwork. They were 5 heroes surrounding him, and the pipe just kept him alive through the Reaper Sight. That is a big problem, because then you have to use a couple of more seconds, and if you're deciding to go forward in that kind of situation, you always do it, because it felt like you got the right initiation, but you are
Radiant's middle
running
tower
in
is under attack.
blindly, headlessly into a vacuum wall and a Medusa Stone Gaze. And I mean, now StoRm knows how that's gonna end every single time, but a second before it seems like they really thought they had a shot there in the fight.
Yep, and from that fight, the Medusa just gets a full Silver Edge going towards a Moonshard now on the Medusa. So not going to be seeing Satanics, nothing like that coming through. Medusa just wants that extra attack speed to come through. And yeah, the Morph does have the Axe, but just wasn't able to do anything with it in that last fight.
I mean, he used it, right? I think he turned into the Medusa, if I'm not
he
mistaken.
did, yeah.
So he reduced the Medusa's damage somewhat, but you need to be able to do more damage with the Morphling. You need to be able to spread around the fight more if you're StoRm. So if you get a kill and Navi are buying back, get the hell out. Your chase, even though it's good, chasing into a Darkseer is very tough. If you kill the Darkseer first, then it's a different story.
Yeah, and they're maybe looking for this Morphin again. I'm just looking. I like this build-up actually from the Medusa. Rocket Flow won't see Krill yet, because the Ag Scepter just takes, what, a flat 70 attack speed, as they are going to take the catch out into Snakeo, so control coming through. So if Shigetsu gets this, even just gets a Hyperstone out, you'll effectively negate the Ag Shard's attacks, the Ag Scepter's attack speed steal from the Morphling.
It's a big deal for sure, right? You will be able to still attack quite effectively once you do get turned into, and it's not stats, so Morphling is not going to be stealing it. So effectively, the Aghanim Scepter isn't going to get buffed up by that item of yours.
do you go for on the side of Navi, because we're going to see them at least a minute 45 on the Roshan? Do you want to like start protecting this bottom part of the map just in case it's going to be that you're a little bit later daytime Roshan?
It's way too early to start thinking about it, but you do want to have some vision there, though. StoRm, they currently do have it, right? You see that ward in the jungle that they have? That's gonna help you at least rally around if you're going to fight around the pit.
Okay, okay. Well, we'll see. I mean, they are making their way down there. They might be, I mean, a little bit too... Well, they are going to be a little bit too early because the Roshan clock has at least a minute left on it. We'll see that on the top lane as well. Dominic looking to push out on this with the Eidolons coming through here. He's got himself the Helm of the Overlord, right? Out of all the builds that an Enigma can... I'm raging again. But all the builds that Enigma can go for, at least a Greaves and a Pipe is useful to his teammates. I have no idea what a Helm of the Overlord Enigma is going to do here. Really no idea.
I'm gonna change the topic to make you a little bit more happy, Rob. You're British, right? So you've definitely watched Only Fools and Horses, right?
Oh, yes.
Okay. So, what do you think about the immortal item for an Undying that spawns the gravestone of Delboy and Rodney's mom? You know, the one that they painted yellow? You remember that episode? No?
That's well, I mean, all of the episodes are old, but that's like a proper. It's not. I thought you were gonna go on like the Batman and Robin or the chandelier thing, or like, you know, something like that. That's like a proper. You know, it's a dark episode as well. That kind of.
How's it dark when? How's it dark when the paint is so bright?
Well, I mean, I suppose it's slapstick. They're having fun with it, but you know, it's maybe a bit of a. Probably not going to be brought into the game.
Okay. I don't like you, Rob. You didn't want that one. It was one of the funniest things, seeing the gravestone shine. It was really funny. But okay, obviously not to you. You don't understand British humor. That's just it. Yeah.
yeah. I don't understand British humor.
Okay, you forgot about the Enigma. So my job is done here. Since you talked about Batman and Robin, I do feel like a hero.
Yeah, and that's what I'd want to see. Like, you know, like while we're on the topic, I guess, the really bad Batman costume that he's wearing when they're doing the Batman and Robin bit, give that to Night Stalker. Like all these, you know, cosmetics that he has. I know you probably like DC be asking for way too much from Warner Brothers, but you know, they're gonna be able to get the kill into the Necrophos now. Necro, does he get himself away? Ghost Shroud comes out, Telekinesis will be here. He only gets a state of execution, and while there's no literal Reaper Scythe, it will swing and take down Necrophos here, put him in the grave for the next 56 seconds, and Roshan is up, so they're gonna be able to twin gate down to the bottom part of the map, and Navi, they're gonna be able to get a free Roshan from this.
Yeah, without the Necro, you cannot fight. That's your main hero. You do have a buyback TP to the bottom lane, so maybe if StoRm can cook something up here in the bottom lane, but it doesn't seem like they're even rotating there, so good luck doing much. And Krillat, he went for a BKB. I hate this item because they needed damage and he went for defensiveness. This is just not gonna work.
Yeah, no, you look at what the Morphin has. BKB accepts the Falcon's Blade Manta style. Even with the Morbid Mask here as well, this is just a lot of, like you say, it's too much, in my eyes, utility for the hero. You know, too much, like I said, defensive items coming out in the Manta and the BKB. Butterfly would have been nice. Going into a Daedalus would have been pretty good. Even, like, just drop the BKB, go in for a Lincoln Sphere, and then transition out into a damage item.
Yeah, look at Shigetsu. He has the Chad build, right? What do I buy? A Moonshard and a Silver Edge. No the Lincoln Spheres here. No Aghanim Scepters. I'm just gonna... Okay, now he puts a Lincoln Sphere into this quick buy. I'm just gonna shut up now because Shigetsu did that on purpose, for sure.
Oh yeah, he's listening and he knows. So all the like say the pro players, they aren't here to win games. They're just here to make the casters look silly.
Yep. Yeah, I know. I have noticed that recently.
Radiant's bottom tower has
but
fallen.
What do you feel about? I mean, Medusa going in towards the Lincoln Sphere. It's going to block, I guess, the charge coming through from the Spirit Break and maybe the Nether Strike. Reaper Scythe as well. It's pretty good. I suppose it's not going to be for the Morph, because if you use that Manta style, it can still steal the stats and the attack speed away from the illusion, right?
No. If you use it on the illusion, it transfers to the hero. So it is mostly for the Morphling and for the Spirit Breaker. So those are the two reasons that you're using it. So when the Morphling uses a ulti on an illusion, it actually transfers to the real hero. So if you have a Lincoln Sphere, he cannot break it because you're not there, and he cannot steal your stats.
No, the Lincoln Sphere doesn't. It doesn't proc the Lincolns. Like if the Morph shifts into one of the Medusa illusions, from what I've been told, if the Morph shifts into one of the Medusa illusions, it doesn't break the Lincolns, and the Medusa still loses the stats and the attack speed.
Yeah, but you need to be listening to your analyst and not to some random people that are telling you something, right? Because your analyst is a genius and he knows, right? That's why always, let's say a Naga versus a Morphling will buy a Lincoln Sphere, because then the Morphling cannot steal the stats. You click on the illusion and the Lincoln's breaks on the real hero somewhere else there.
I'm pretty sure it was Bowie that told me that.
Yeah, I think he was messing with you.
Okay, well that's not. I'll have a word with him tomorrow then. I think it was Bowie. I'm probably putting the blame on Bowie now. Now he's told me. I just.
No, I think it's fine. Let's put the blame on him.
Yeah, that's fine. He's not here. He won't know. That's
middle
fine.
tower is under attack.
Yeah. Navi, they are gonna be smoking towards the top lane, and StoRm should be knowing about this. This is gonna take a very long time, so if you get caught, it's entirely your fault. The only one that I would accept dying here would be Soneko, but they're not backing out yet.
Nope. The smoke comes through. Hookshot. They have that engagement coming through. Morphlin going to try and do it again with the BKB charge. Is going to be coming out, but is it going to be in time? Did you get the Reaper side kill onto Malady? They're going to try and go backlines now. Vacuum comes through. Nicky Cool. Did they get anything to stop? They don't. So Soneko at least will be getting himself away. Stonegaze comes through. They're trying to. That's a bit of a long engagement here on the Stonegaze. The death pulse from Nicky Cool. He is going to be able to zip zap himself around. He's not even a Storm Spirit. He's got that Death Pulse coming back up in, or Death Seeker, excuse me, in 8 seconds. They will be seen, and now they've got the control. TP cancelled. Should be able to get the kill. Yeah, even with the Ghost Shroud coming out, there's more than enough to deal with Nicky Cool as the Reaper Scythe was stolen. Rubik gets his first taste of that on the board.
I'm gonna be quite happy with that one. The problem is that Nicky Cool started TPing in an area that the tower gives you vision of, and he probably can you look at that little space at the top there that gives the tower gives vision to? It's just unfortunate. It just goes to show how many little places on the map, the new ones there are, that the players still aren't 100% acquainted with.
Yeah, that sucks a little bit. As yeah, maybe, you know, I would have thought I was safe there as well. There's going to be a charge coming through from 1J onto the bottom part of the map. Malik, he's not going to chase it up. He's already used the vacuum, and yeah, 1J is going to be able to get the TP away. I was just about to ask you, you know, with this Aegis being here for the next couple of minutes, would you have thought Navi would look to break the base? It looks like they are stepping up onto the tier 3 towers. I mean, there is a Blink Dagger into Black Hole available. Midnight Pulse goes down, charge from 1J now as well, but this tier 3 tower, it's still looking really tasty here for Navi.
The idea is you want to force back your enemies, right? Mostly, but also you want to force them into a mistake, because going for Shigetsu right now would be a mistake.
Yeah. And okay, yeah, Lincoln Sphere does break now as well. They're going to be able to get themselves in with Normal Punch coming out. They had the control onto Krilliat, though. Krilliat had that Medusa form coming through, so there was a Mana Shield there. It wouldn't be effective. And now, well, I mean, Shigetsu, does he want to carry on going? Has the Aegis for 37 seconds. Looks like he is going to be okay. As Krilliat, yeah, he's trying to get himself away. He's out of mana now, so he will go for that
wrap
move
around.
Away.
Stormer coming.
Yeah, backlines. Do they have enough? Do they want to get this one out here? Because it looks like they're going to jump in. They've got the Reaper side coming through. They do get the kill onto the Rubik.
No. Pipe.
Oh, do they not? They don't. And the Black Hole comes through, though, catching onto a couple of them. So is this going to be enough now? As it looks like they dive away. Nicky Cole's trying to get himself out. Yeah, they get the kill onto 1J now. And once again, Krilliat's trying to do what he can. The damage coming through. Buyback comes out from 1J. He needs to leave. He straight up needs to leave. That's going to be his BKB down. The Black Hole stolen by the Rubik. They get the kill. Krilliat is dead. Has buyback available if he wants to use it, though.
That was... it just goes to show that they can't kill anybody. Like, they found a great angle. They found a great target. It's a Rubik, for God's sakes, and you cannot kill him without your Morphling getting involved. It's just way too much. And they even got lucky there. The Morphling managed to turn into Medusa just before the Reaper side came through, because it could have been even worse.
Yep, there's going to be another charge in now as well. Damage coming through. Did he get this off though? Was that Morphin? He's trying to get himself towards the front lines, but it looks like, how far does he actually want to go with this one? Because he is going to be stunned up. Does he get it off now? Jump comes through. Meljul is still trying to get this kill, and it looks like the damage is going to be up. And by the way, the Medusa does lose that attack speed. Link Sphere doesn't matter. It looks like Kryliak wants to carry on going. Shigetsu, though, he's just going to be able to right-click down absolutely everybody. Nicky Cool trying to get himself away into the fountain. Once again, 3 heroes left, and this Medusa just stands tall.
And see, Navi, even with losing the laning stage heavily, they just play better Dota than their enemies, though. StoRm, they did take the heroes that are gonna have some damage issues, and then they had some problems with that itemization, which is normal. Division 2 teams in general aren't really that good at changing items out of what's best in the current meta, and then some mistakes are bound to happen when you're playing something that is completely out of the box.
Yep, and Navi, it was, like you say, it was a good start for StoRm. They just weren't able to carry that momentum through, though. Did they need to, like you said, because of the static Necrophos in the mid lane, you had the Morphin that wanted to stay around and farm as well. Was it just and again, Dominic trying to push out the top lane as the Enigma, was it just too separated for StoRm after that laning stage for them to have a major impact, you know, to try and end that game a little bit earlier?
The thing is, when the pipe came out and the Skadi came out, you needed to recognize the situation that you're not stronger any longer, and you needed to get some damage items before you go into battle once again. So I think it was mostly that StoRm didn't recognize that their strength is gonna fall off at some point with the item timings of their enemies, and respect it. And they didn't recognize it, they didn't respect it, one or the other or both together, and then they just got punished for it.
Well, we'll see if they're going to be able to do a little bit better in the second game, because Navi, they are looking for almost the clean sweep, and I feel that in my heart, that one game that they lost to Navi Junior will put them on a 1 loss, so they won't be able to get a full clean sweep here in Tour 3 even, but they will be looking to close it out as quickly as possible here. But for now, we're going to take a quick break. We'll jump to the second game after this, and we'll see you in about 10 minutes.